We just witnessed the first ghost and run in MAFS history, you guys. What? Hey guys, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. I need to put my glasses on for this one because this goes deep. Okay, I'm gonna take a sip of this because the tea is hot. Okay, so I have not been a MAFS fan until this year because a content creator that I really like and enjoy has been hosting live watch parties for it. So I kind of joined in and I was like, oh, this is cool. And then I really got sucked into it because I grew up in the era of Jersey Shore, Real World, all the OG reality shows. And I haven't watched reality shows in a long time because, you know me, I can't stand this stuff. But this season of MAFS is crazy. And what I'm going to talk about in this video is specifically what Wil did to Brittany in the last episode that they aired. So if you're not caught up, watch my last video to get all caught up on all the episodes so far. But if you're also not caught up and you also don't want to listen to that video, I can't help you. Basically, in a nutshell, all the couples are up to decision day now, which is when they decide to stay married or get divorced. And it's a hot mess. Like the further along the season has gone, the more of a hot mess everybody has become. I'm going to hold my microphone because I'm sorry, this room is like echoing and this is the only way that the sound is better for you guys. So yeah, Wil and Brittany, last episode, basically short and sweet, what happened was Wil called Brittany on the phone before decision day even aired, and he basically pulled a phone breakup and run, and he was like, yeah, my answer is going to be no. And then and then they showed him leaving, and then Brittany was all distraught, and she's like, oh my God. I understand both sides. So if you've been following the series, Brittany tends to bring her past trauma into the present relationship. This poor man has been apologizing for everything he says since day one. He has had to reassure her 24/7. He has had to apologize to her for stuff that was not his fault. And what made it worse is when they were at a sit-down dinner with the rest of the cast was on her side. And I'm like, bro, like I get it, but I don't get it because they haven't seen the whole thing play out. You know, everything was always with her. He would say something. He would say one thing that wasn't even derogatory or negative in any way. And she would go, oh, did you mean that? Oh, what do you mean? And then she would start a whole thing. The fact that she keeps bringing her past into the present is not healthy and it's bad. And that is what turns him off. Okay. But Wil, on the other hand, he's not innocent either. He is very robotic. He is very, like, he doesn't show emotion. Maybe he shows emotion to the people he cares about because in the beginning of the series, yeah, he was all crying and stuff about his wedding. And I'm like, that man don't want to be married. Like, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if that dude had a girl outside the show the whole time the show was going on. He pulled a ghost and phone breakup and run on live television for everyone to see. That is embarrassing. Okay. But the fact that that happened, I don't think he's going to stay off the show. I think they're going to make him come back because he signed a contract, blah, blah, blah. They're going to make him come back and do the freaking ceremony on decision day. And if either of them say yes on that day, I'm done. I am done with that show. If you said no and you felt that strongly and you left before the show was even over and wrapped up, how are you going to come back and say yes? Nah, dude. One of that, but what Brittany needs to do is turn the table over and say no at the altar with him, like whatever they do on decision day. She needs to be the one to say no because that was embarrassing. Okay, Brittany girl, if you don't say no to him on decision day, if they make you both come back, you're embarrassing. Now that I have that off my chest, the last two episodes were like a cluster of just different hot mess-ish, like Pat and Rhonda stayed on the path of Rhonda is depressing right now. Granted, for her sake, on her side, she just had a family member pass away, but she keeps beating poor Pat to a pulp. She keeps beating down that poor man. And I'm like, girl, what happened to the bubbly, fun princess who we saw during the wedding? What happened? It's like a switch flip. And this is why I understand what men say about when you marry women, they're flip switches and they do a 180 on you. Sir, there might be something there because what I have witnessed on this show, that is indeed factual. Like, what is wrong with she constantly berates him for what he's not doing, what he's doing. And this poor man can't get a break. And I feel so bad for him because they're older. Like, they shouldn't be dealing with that crap, that drama. Now, The one thing to their advantage is they have open communication and it's very good. But a lot of the open communication that they have is very negative. And I'm just like, girl, why are you so negative right now? Like, you came onto the show so positive. It's weird. It's weird how it switched up. And then there is Jaylen and Josh, which you guys already know how I feel about Josh. I think he is a toxic walking red flag. He lies. I wouldn't be surprised if, after decision day, they break up after they say yes. I wouldn't be surprised. He wants to force Jaylen to do everything that he likes, but he doesn't want to participate in anything that she likes or acknowledge it. Like, he forced her to go do something she was uncomfortable with in the first place, skydiving. He forced her to do something she was uncomfortable with in Panama, and he uses it under the guise of, oh, expand your horizons. No, someone's uncomfortable doing something. That's a boundary, and you just crossed that boundary, and that is a red freaking flag. So no. And he just gives me the ick because he reminds me of many men who I've encountered in my life. Not romantically necessarily, just people I know, some romantically, some not. Girl, if you don't turn the other way and run, you are stupid. And then we come to Meghann and Derek. Now, these two were a hot mess in the beginning. I don't know if it was because she was pregnant and those hormones were going crazy or what it was, but she was made out to be super crazy in the first episodes. And now all of a sudden they're in love and smooching and pulling pranks together and stuff. You know what though? I'm kind of here for it because if it was just the editing that made her look crazy, I get it because it's a reality show. That's what they do. But she really, really looked like she had problems, and she would not let this man. She would not get her foot off this man's neck in the first episodes. But now it's kind of it switched, and now they're the healthy couple. She's giving relationship advice to Brittany. What? All I know is they're having a baby, so that kind of factors into their decision day. But then Meghann goes, well, I don't necessarily need to say yes, even if I'm having a baby, to raise the baby with somebody. And that's true, girl. I will say, snaps. Yes, that's true. INDEPENDENT woman. Okay. That's very true. You don't need that, but it makes it easier. And it's also good for the kid. But also, I feel like if they stay together and stuff kind of turns south, that kid's going to need therapy. And at that point, you should break up. And then we come to Belynda and Chad. Okay, I didn't like Chad from the jump. I did not like Chad from the jump. And I am usually pretty good at calling people's BS. I did not like him from the jump, but other people were like, oh, he seems so nice. He seems so sweet. But girl, no, you need to go back to the first episode where he was talking to his daughter. She was saying things that made it seem like he is the problem, and he is the problem. Okay. These last couple episodes, he was going off the handle at producers, which I kind of get because when you're on a reality show, you see the BS for what it really is. But he was going off at them, and then he was going off on Belynda, who's his wife, who he shouldn't be. And he was gaslighting her, saying he didn't say things he said to her. She didn't do that. That's gaslighting, number one. So that's a red flag. Number two, he can't control his temper. Number three, he drinks. That's 3 strikes, you're out, bro. Seriously, Belynda, if I was you, I would say no on decision day and walk away because that is not good. And the fact that they had a blow up, right at the end of the last episode too, where he's like, okay, well, I'm not going to do this. And then she just walked out. I'm like, oh, God. I love this show because it just shows you no matter what your age, you still deal with BS and you still deal with other people's BS. And the older people get, it's kind of true. The older people get, the more set in their ways they become and the less malleable they are and the more adverse to change they are. Because it really shows in these episodes with these people. It's just so sad, though. It's if you're older, I love older love. And I really wish that the older couples in this show would get their shit together and just, be healthy and be good for each other. Especially Pat and Rhonda. Rhonda really let me down, you guys. I was rooting for them. I had a name for them. We all had a name for them, Ponda. And we were rooting for them. And then halfway through the season, we were like, oh, pump the brakes. Wait, that's weird. I don't know. And I really wish that we could be there to see what actually was happening because as we know with reality shows, the editing they do is crazy heavy. So what's really happening, we don't know. But all we can do is judge based off what we see. So I think that, and I might be missing a couple, but I'm probably missing them because they're not memorable. Sorry if I am. So Meghann and Derek, I think that they might end up together and say yes on decision day. I don't know long-term what's going to happen, but I feel like on decision day, they might say yes. Belynda and Chad, I think if she knows what's good for her. Belynda will say no and walk. Josh and Jaylen, I don't know, because Jaylen seems like the type of person who wants to make a bad thing work. So I think she's going to say yes. I think Josh is going to say yes because he is just like, he wants to be married. He's desperate for that, blah, blah, blah. He's just like, he just wants someone to control, I feel. And that's not good. But I feel like both of them are going to say yes. But in the long run, I don't think it's going to work out. And then Pat and Rhonda, I really don't know with these two, you guys. It's crazy. I feel like Pat is going to end up saying no because he's getting fed up with constantly being picked apart at the stuff he's not doing right. And I feel like Pat is going to be the one to say no. And Rhonda might say yes. I don't know. But that's just how I feel about them. Wil and Brittany's a hot mess. Okay. So I don't know about them. But what I do know is that he already said no. So if they force him to come back and just participate in the decision day just for, you know, the filming and stuff, I feel like they're still going to say no. And Brittany, girl, if you don't say no and freaking redeem yourself, I don't know, girl. I feel like, and the thing about Brittany and Wil is that I feel like Brittany, well, first of all, girl, you need to go to therapy like on your own for yourself before you try couples therapy because you need to heal. Second of all, I feel like Brittany is very self-critical. She is very hard on herself. I don't think she has very good self-esteem. That's just judging from what I've seen from the show. But then again, Wil also needs to learn how to be in a relationship because you can't go in a relationship and not communicate and act all robotic all the time. You can't do that, bro. Like if you want to do that, marry an AI robot. I don't know, but don't marry a human female. Like both of them just need to go their separate ways. So, for their freaking mental health. I'm excited for the last episodes because they left us on a huge cliffhanger with Wil doing what he did. I'm just like, how are you going to do that as a cliffhanger? Are you kidding me? But you know what? It's what rakes in the views. So there you go. I just wanted to do this quick recap for you guys because I promised you I would. And then the next episode is going to air on November 20th. So it's coming up soon. So if you're curious about this show now, go back, watch it from the beginning episodes, and then just let the oh my God wash over you. It's crazy. Thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe or leave a comment below if you're a MAFS fan and you want to talk about it more. I'll see you guys in the next video.